You know that thing you keep doing even though you promised yourself you would stop. That habit you hide from people, rationalize to yourself, or pretend is not a big deal until suddenly it is a very big deal. Bad habits do not announce themselves as destructive. They whisper. They negotiate. They convince you that one more time will not matter, that you will quit tomorrow, that you are still in control even as the control slips further away every single day. Carl Jung understood something most people miss. Bad habits are not just behaviors. They are psychological symptoms. They are the shadow operating beneath your awareness, enacting patterns you refuse to see, meeting needs you will not admit you have. And if you try to break them through willpower alone, through shame, through forced discipline that ignores the unconscious drivers, you will fail. Not because you are weak, but because you are fighting the wrong battle. Here are 5 ways to break bad habits that actually address the psychology beneath them. Not trendy life hacks, not surface motivations, real interventions that disrupt the unconscious patterns keeping you trapped. These might shock you because they contradict almost everything you have been told about change. But if what you have been doing was working, you would not be here. The first shocking way: stop trying to quit. I know. You read that and thought I made a mistake, but stay with me. Jung saw that the more you resist something, the more power you give it. The more you shame yourself for a habit, the more you reinforce the identity of someone who does that thing. You become the person who fails at quitting smoking, the person who cannot stop scrolling, the person who always breaks their diet. And every time you fail, you strengthen that identity. You prove to yourself that you are powerless. Most people approach bad habits like they are fighting an enemy. They declare war. They set rigid rules. They use language like discipline and willpower and self-control. And for a few days, maybe a few weeks, it works. But then the habit comes back, often stronger than before, because you never addressed why it existed in the first place. Here is what actually works. Instead of trying to quit, start studying. Become curious about the habit instead of ashamed of it. When does it happen? What triggers it? What are you feeling right before you reach for your phone, light that cigarette, pour that drink, open that app? Most people have no idea. They just know they do it. But the unconscious knows exactly why. And until you make that conscious, until you see the pattern clearly, you are just fighting symptoms. Take someone like Robert Downey Jr. He did not break his addiction by hating himself harder. He broke it by understanding what he was actually seeking, what pain he was avoiding, what void he was trying to fill. And then he found different ways to meet those needs. So here is your action step. For the next week, do not try to stop your habit. Just observe it. Every time you do it, write down what you were feeling right before, what you were avoiding, what you were seeking. No judgment, just data. You will start to see a pattern. And that pattern is the real problem, not the behavior itself. Remember, you cannot change what you refuse to see clearly. The second shocking way: make it impossible to avoid your feelings. Here is the uncomfortable truth Jung would tell you. Most bad habits are not about pleasure. They are about pain avoidance. You are not scrolling because social media is fascinating. You are scrolling because sitting with yourself is uncomfortable. You are not overeating because the food tastes that good. You are eating because you do not want to feel what you are feeling. You are not overworking because you love your job that much. You are working because stopping means facing the emptiness you have been running from. Bad habits are psychological anesthesia. They numb you. They distract you. They give you something to do when what you actually need is to feel something you have been avoiding for years. And until you remove the option to numb, until you force yourself to sit with the discomfort, the habit will always come back. This is why people who quit drinking often replace it with excessive exercise or work or shopping. They never learn to be with themselves without some form of escape. The substance changed, but the pattern remained. Sound familiar? You quit one thing and immediately pick up something else to fill the gap. Here is what breaks this cycle. Create periods in your day where you have nothing. No phone, no food, no tasks, no escape routes. Just you and whatever you are feeling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It does not have to be long, but it has to be regular. And it has to be non-negotiable. You will hate this. Your brain will scream at you to do something, anything, to fill the space. That screaming is the unconscious revealing what the habit has been protecting you from. Maybe it is loneliness. Maybe it is grief. Maybe it is the realization that you have been living someone else's life. Whatever it is, it needs to be felt. Because unfelt emotions do not disappear. They just find new ways to control you. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit somewhere quiet, no distractions. Just breathe and notice what comes up. Do not try to fix it or understand it or make it go away. Just let it be there. Do this every day. Watch how much harder it becomes to use your habit as an escape when you have already faced what you were escaping from. Remember, the feelings you avoid become the habits that control you. The third shocking way, stop believing you are the person who does this here, is where it gets psychological. Jung taught that we are not one unified self. We are multiple selves, multiple identities operating at different times. And bad habits are almost always attached to an identity you have unconsciously accepted. You are a smoker. You are someone with no self-control. You are the person who always gives in. And every time you enact the habit, you reinforce that identity. You prove to yourself that this is who you are. But here is the shocking part, that identity is not real. It is a story, a pattern, a role you have been playing so long you forgot you were playing it. And the moment you see it as a role instead of as your nature, you can choose differently. Think about it. You are not always the person who does this habit. There are contexts where you do not do it, times when you forget about it completely, situations where it does not even occur to you, which means the habit is not you. It is a response to specific triggers, specific emotional states, specific environments. And if it is context dependent, it is changeable. Take someone like Dwayne Johnson. He talks openly about his struggles with depression, but he does not identify as a depressed person. He sees it as something he experiences, not something he is. That shift in identity changes everything. So here is your move. Stop saying, I am the kind of person who does this. Start saying, I have been doing this. I have been choosing this, but I am not defined by it. This might sound like semantics, but your unconscious does not know the difference between identity and behavior. When you label yourself, you lock yourself in. When you separate yourself from the behavior, you create space for change. Next time you slip up, do not say, I am so weak, or I always do this. Say, I chose that in this moment and I can choose differently next time. Watch how that small shift changes your relationship to the habit. Remember, you are not your patterns. You are the awareness that can change them. The fourth shocking way. Build a replacement ritual. Not just a rule here is where most people fail. They remove the bad habit but leave a vacuum. And the unconscious hates a vacuum. It will fill that space with something, and if you do not choose what fills it, your shadow will choose for you. You will end up with a different bad habit, same underlying pattern. Jung understood that transformation requires substitution. You cannot just subtract, you have to replace. The bad habit was serving a function, meeting a need, even if it was doing it badly. And unless you find a healthier way to meet that same need, you will go back to what worked before. Let me give you an example. Say you scroll social media every time you feel anxious. If you just delete the apps, you will feel the anxiety with no outlet. Your brain will panic. It will find something else to do: eating, shopping, overthinking, picking fights. The habit changed, but the function remained. Instead, you need a replacement ritual, something that meets the same psychological need, but in a way that does not destroy you. Anxious? Go for a walk, call a friend. Write 3 sentences about what you are feeling. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be different, and it has to be ready before you need it. This is what successful people do. They do not rely on willpower in the moment. They build systems that make the better choice automatic. They create rituals that replace the old patterns before the craving even hits. Here is how you do this. Identify what your bad habit gives you: comfort, distraction, a sense of control. Then brainstorm 3 healthier ways to get that same thing. Write them down. Make them so easy you cannot talk yourself out of them. And the next time the urge hits, you have an alternative already prepared. Try it today. Pick your biggest bad habit. Ask yourself what it actually gives you. Then create one simple replacement ritual you can do instead. Test it for a week. Adjust as needed. Remember, nature abhors a vacuum, and so does your psyche. The 5th shocking way. Accept that you might fail and do it anyway. This is the one that will either free you or frustrate you. Jung believed that perfectionism is the enemy of transformation. The idea that you have to quit flawlessly, that one slip means total failure, that you are either all in or you are a failure. This is ego talking. And the ego does not want you to change. It wants you to stay predictable, even if that predictability is killing you. Most people quit trying to break a bad habit the first time they mess up. They were doing great for 5 days, then they slipped. And instead of just continuing, they say, well, I already ruined it, might as well go all in. And suddenly 5 days of progress gets erased by one moment of all or nothing thinking. But real change does not work that way. Real change is messy. It is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It is failing on Tuesday and trying again on Wednesday. It is recognizing that you are human, that you will slip, and that slipping does not erase your progress unless you decide it does. Think about someone like Oprah. She has talked openly about her struggles with weight, with yo-yo dieting, with the shame of public failure. But she kept going. She did not let one setback define her entire journey. She accepted imperfection as part of the process. So here is the shocking advice. Give yourself permission to fail, not as an excuse, but as a realistic expectation. You will mess up. And when you do, the only question that matters is what happens next. Do you spiral into shame and give up? Or do you acknowledge it, learn from it, and keep moving? Here is what you do. The next time you slip with your habit, do not beat yourself up. Do not restart your streak. Do not throw away your progress. Just notice what happened, what triggered it, what you can do differently next time, then continue. Treat it like data, not like failure. And here is the other part. Share your struggle with someone, not for accountability, for honesty. The shadow thrives in secrecy. The moment you speak your habit out loud to another person, it loses half its power. You stop carrying it alone. You stop pretending you have it all together. You become human, and humans change. Remember, perfection is the ego's trap. Progress is the self's path. Here is what most people will not tell you. Breaking bad habits is not about becoming a better version of yourself. It is about becoming a more honest version, about stopping the performance, the denial, the unconscious patterns that run your life while you pretend to be in control. Jung saw that individuation, real psychological transformation, happens when you stop avoiding your shadow and start integrating it. When you stop fighting yourself and start understanding yourself. Your bad habits are not your enemy. They are messengers. They are showing you where you are fragmented, where you are avoiding pain, where you are living unconsciously. And if you approach them with curiosity instead of shame, with honesty instead of denial, with patience instead of perfectionism, they will teach you more about yourself than 1,000 self-help books ever could. So stop trying to be perfect. Start trying to be aware. Stop trying to quit cold. Start trying to understand why. Stop hating yourself for failing. Start learning from the failure. And watch how everything changes when you stop fighting the symptoms and start healing the source. You are not broken. You are just unconscious. And consciousness is a practice, not a destination. Every single day, you get to choose awareness over avoidance. Every single day, you get to see yourself more clearly. Every single day, you get to integrate one more shadow fragment and become a little more whole. That is how bad habits break. Not through force, through understanding, not through shame, through honesty, not through perfection, through presence. And it starts today, not tomorrow, not when you are ready, today, right now. With whatever habit you have been avoiding facing, look at it, really look at it, and ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me about myself? The answer is waiting, and so is your transformation.